Well, you have already clicked, so please like and subscribe. Important women's strawweight bouts with career-altering consequences. In fact, it looks like a feed and fend lineup where your win doesn't secure your position nor move you forward. The chatter is siding with the dogs on the card, and while I can see the value of much of the plus money, I'm not going to be backing it myself. I've produced well the past few weeks, so no need to force issues, create complications, and lose that hard-earned house money profit. While I still think it's going to be a challenging night for all the veterans on this card, Cowboy is still fighting, and we'll send Diego all the yes energy we can via the internet. Yes, the guy is a narcissist, but so are fighters, media members, and your average YouTuber. I got all but 2 of my picks correctly last week, and like most your YouTube MMA cappers do, I can fabricate, contextualize my wins in a manner to manipulate, contextualize that I was successful betting. Is this what Fabia is doing? Pulling the wool over these people's eyes who willingly seek out enlightenment and alternative physical therapies? People give money to MMA sporting prediction YouTubers who call themselves gurus. It's laughable that MMA communities reject Fabia when other fighters do yoga, touch butt, capoeira, kung fu, tai chi, etc. But right away, this guy's a kook? There's hypocrisy by all of us, not conspiracy. People want to be followers and happy in that role. Diego is just that, and maybe he's just suffering from his own choices, and wrong ones at that. Maybe Diego is Fabia 2.0 in the future, a willing accomplice and partner. On the positives, what Fabia did mention in all his rants was that the UFC was promoting gambling, not martial arts. He did say a lot about fighter health, equity and partnership, unionizing, and protecting fighters. So we have all our filters to hear. So let's wish the best for Diego. Regardless, for me, this event will be marred by his absence and the enduring memory that we would miss, and we got cheated by seeing Diego versus Cowboy and watch Diego lay down his gloves in the octagon, maybe next to Cowboy's. Diego was going to lose against Cowboy. He and his manager were screaming, "I got hit too much." And we could see here that not only was he hit quite too much, but he slowed in his striking ability over the years. I did a career tally of his strikes absorbed, and he has 1,254 strikes absorbed in the UFC. So if you look at that over time, that's really a lot of strikes. He's been in some wars, some of the best bouts, including already one that's put him in the Hall of Fame. He is definitely a Hall of Famer. He has stayed a little too long. I think he deserved to take this bout. Again, there were concerns on both the UFC side as well as his manager side. So regardless of what happened, there still is plenty of legacy gold in those 31 wins. Diego walks away a true warrior, a champion, and someone that did it his way, someone who's made a difference and paved the way for other MMA fighters. To start our evening, we have our first of our eliminator bouts, Christian Aguilera, who I call El Güero, versus Carlston Mozambique Harris. Harris is coming in on a 3-fight win streak. He's a brave fighting champion. At first, I was sort of disregarding that kind of a title, but I believe that's where Khamzat has come from, as well as another fighter on this card. So he's coming in as a champion, which and on a win streak, which makes him very, very dangerous as a newcomer. Aguilera is a tough comer, though, and he's a newcomer himself. He was subbed recently by Sean Brady, which is nothing to sneeze at. Sean Brady is surging, so you can't really excuse it because Brady also had the guy outstruck almost 2-1. He took him down and submitted him. So I think that Carlston Harris can sort of do the same thing. Harris is quick and long. He likes to roll. He likes to strike, gets in scrambles. He looks to take it back and sink that Darson. Question is wrestling good enough to do this to Aguilera? I like the live bet on Aguilera here if he survives halfway through round 2, but I'm leaning on Aguilera being the better striker here and Carlston Harris being the better grappler here from what little I've seen, and Carlston Harris getting the finish by submission here. Monkey Knife Fight had nothing listed on there, so we're no need to look at what Monkey Knife Fight's going to happen, but we will look at it for our next pair of warriors, Ju-Young Park and Tefon Chuyu. I butchered that name. I'm very apologetic about that. Ju-Young Park, the Iron Turtle, or the Korean Kamzat. I don't think he really deserves that Korean Kamzat name, although he is a very active fighter, both grappling and wrestling. He's a very good counter grappler, as well as a decent aggressive wrestler. I think that really helps him because he has all the tools to win this bout. But can he survive Tefon's strike? And I mean just the first one. Tefon Chuyu is a thick guy, very powerful. I see more power than skill. Of course, I don't know striking in the octagon as well as most people. His kicks and hands, though, are very, very powerful. Even his kicks look like they would hurt really bad. He took out William Knight. So if you know how large and strong that man is, how difficult he is to take out, Tefon Chuyu took him out. So this guy, all his fights are finishes. So while I see Ju-Young Park absorbing some strikes, I'm not as sure as him on landing a takedown. Because how is he going to level change when Tefon's possibly going to land a kick? Park is more than a live dog if he gets out of this in round one, because he definitely has very good grappling and good defense. So his takedown accuracy is good. His takedown average is good. Sure, the guys get up, but he does a very good job of smothering people, being aggressive, tackling them, hitting them fiercely. Just look at that John Phillips fight. On the Monkey Knife Fight, I thought something was off here with Tefon Chuyu getting 63.5 strikes and Ju-Young Park with 36.5. I'm going to lean on Ju-Young Park getting more than that if he can survive the first round, and Tefon Chuyu getting less than that, because even he knocks Ju-Young Park out, or he loses or has to grind out a brutal decision. So Zaruk Adeshev and Ryan Benoit battle in the next bout. Both, I think, I hate to say this, they're just mediocre fighters, less than average. I mean, look at their records. Benoit is 10-7, whereas Zaruk is 3-3. I mean, he's literally 500, the epitome of what mediocre is. Adeshev is a southpaw, which definitely benefits him. Is he a live dog here at plus 120? Yes, I believe so. Ryan Benoit at 10-7. It's just difficult to read the advantages that he has. Difficult to read if this is a dog or pass situation, because both these guys are coming off losses. I think this is going to be a stand-up affair where Zakurov Adeshev has plenty of opportunities to handle Ryan Benoit, but Ryan could take him out in just one punch or one round. Monkey Knife Fight sees this very close to what it is. 54 strikes for Benoit and 27.5. I think the line's a little too close. I'm going to pass. I'm probably going to pass on that fight altogether unless the line moves on Benoit closer or more past minus 200. Bringing it to the cage, we have Ludovic Klein versus Michael Trizano. I think this is going to be one of the best bouts on this card. Ludovic Klein is a newcomer. He has coming in on a 4 KO win streak. He is a bomber, landing 7.1 strikes per minute per round. Yikes. Trizano is coming off layoffs, and he's coming into some heat because Ludovic Klein strikes strong, accurately, and very, very often. I could see the value in Trizano as he has victories over Pena and Joe Giannetti. But is that going to be enough in terms of what him and his abilities to create space for attacks and change level and take Klein into some sort of area where he hasn't been? Well, I don't like this matchup for Trizano. I have to recognize the value here. I've been looking at the under 1.5 prop for this fight, though, as well as it not to go the distance, because I foresee violence. I think either guy is going to bring it. Trizano's going to be very, very aggressive and active, I think, as well as Ludovic Klein. I see a finish. So on this Monkey Knife Fights, they see 56 56 strikes for Klein and 31 for Trizano. I see less because they cap it at 8 minutes. I'm expecting a violence and a quick finish, so I'm going with less and less on that. Speaking of violence, yes, violence. Philip Hawes and Kyle Daukaus will bring their own type of violence Saturday. This is actually grappler versus grappler match, as Hawes was a wrestler and is falling in love with his hands, because before his last bout, Hawes had never seen the judges' cards. I recall that Hawes Imanov not to go the distance prop killing me. Mushy. Like this card, but not this bout. I like this matchup. Daukaus is not just a submission artist. He's a very good MMA grappler striker who could possibly absorb Philip Hawes' attacks and strikes. Hawes is super fast though. Because I don't think Hawes wants to grapple Daukaus. I don't think Hawes is going to try to take Daukaus down. Daukaus is just too dangerous, and despite the obvious power and speed differences that Hawes has over Daukaus, I still favor Daukaus in this fight. So the line is sort of set correctly. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I just might pass or take a finish here by either fighter, possibly Daukaus by finish. The props did generate just a few hours ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to analyze them, but I still think there is some money to be made here on this card. On the Monkey Night Fight side, I'm looking at this being less for Hawes, as he's either going to get that quick strike in, or Kyle Daukaus is going to finish Hawes through some control, grappling, striking, and possibly even submitting Hawes. This next bout, this will be very from violence to frustration. While I do not look forward to this fight, it's not what people would think. These guys are placed accordingly on this card because it's time to go take a shit, throw a 50 or a unit on red or black. Seriously, not touching this fight, just joking. I'm on Rothwell. He lands more, has a grappling advantage. Rothwell just has to protect that chin, not get sloppy. On the Monkey Night Fight, it's less and less, but just pass on this fight. I really wish the best for Ben Rothwell. I think he wins this fight, and hopefully we see a better match for him next time. Finally, a high-level MMA match, Diego Ferreira versus Gregor Gillespie. And if you know these two, the question is how either capitalizes from their MMA grappling. Gregor has some significant advantages that will get him and keep him in top position, as there will be scrambles, and Ferreira is going to look to grapple, but he's going to try to keep this on the feet, I believe. He has the counter grapple, as Gregor's counter jiu-jitsu is good. Ferreira will lose this bout if he is content to operate from guard. Gregor Gillespie's top control is very effective. People think that he probably could hang with Khabib. I'm really not in that realm or in that school. I think he's an extremely effective grappler, effective MMA grappler, and one of the best at it. Gregor Gillespie, I think by decision, is a solid spot. Might be the start of a parlay piece, as he's the only favorite on this card. I probably will pair with either Hill or Cerrone. On the Monkey Night Fight, I'm looking at more and more, as I think this is going to be a decision. It's possible that Gregor could get a finish, as well as Diego Ferreira. He is a live dog. Again, he's pass on most of these fights. It's going to be a challenging night gambling-wise, unless you're willing to fight on some of these can cards. I'm not a big fan of betting on Maurice Green, nor Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I've lost money on both these guys in many different fashions in their fights, betting against them, as well as for them in instances where I shouldn't have been. This is a spectacle bout of two cans. Marcos Rogerio de Lima, though, has genuine, significant striking advantage here. Real striking power. Maurice's green submission has no validity whatsoever. The guy was just exhausted, despite being a Sarah pupil. I was very embarrassed for him. Thankfully, I forgot his name. But I am staying away from these. I wish they could KO each other, but I'm really looking for Marcos Rogerio de Lima to KO Maurice Green rapidly. And so does Monkey Night Fights. That's why they have Maurice Green capped at 13.5 strikes for the fight. He either is going to survive round one or still lose in round 2. I don't see this making it round 3. He's not submitting Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I think he's going to feel that touch very quickly, and we're going to see a less on less for this bout. Rodrigo de Lima by finish if it's juicy. But I'm going to pass and definitely not use this in a parlay piece. Remember, people, don't use most of these in any parlays. Well, as I run to go to the washroom, there will be another fantastic free MMA bout waiting for me at my chair. Neal Magny and Jeff Neal. These guys are superb martial artists. This is a great. Both these guys are coming off a loss, respectively, from elite competition. Magny has faced all comers, and he last lost to Chiesa. It places him in the gatekeeper role, and Neal had a tough loss to Wonder Boy. So it's going to be, can Magny sustain what the masses believe and not get knocked out by Jeff Neal? Can he withstand the strength and strikes that Jeff Neal is going to bring? Because he will bring it if Magny cannot find some way to wrap him up and try to control him. So we've seen both of these guys get pieced up, but Neal absorbs a bit more strikes. It's hard to do any sort of MMA math here. I just have to accept the line value for Magny, like a few others on this card. For me, this is a toss-up, and for my money, it's got to go on the plus money side. So Monkey Knife Fights cap this, I believe, at 3 rounds. If Magny wins by decision, I think it's going to be 3 rounds. So that's why I'm probably leaning on the more for Magny as well as more for Jeff Neal, because this is, I think, going to be some intense striking and grappling affair. I wish it could be a 5-round fight. They definitely won't have something like that. But, again, it's not out of the question. Both these guys deserve for there to be a possible finish and a definite victor, and it not to go to the judges. Because, as we know, the judges are horrible these days. And here's another bout that more than likely will go to decision. How, for the first of our significant strawweight bouts, we have Angela Hill versus Amanda Ribas. Hill has, at 13-9, has been a gatekeeper. Has she really? Is she on a streak? But I just really feel if she loses here, she will never see an MMA title again. The stakes could not be higher for each of these fighters, especially for Hill. This scares me, as I'm a big Angela Hill fan, and despite her having takedown defense in all her losses, she's been taken down. She has not been subbed since Rose, and yes, she's gotten up to strike her way to close defeats, and yes, she still has good takedown defense despite being taken down in every bout. She's also a good striker. I think she could hang with Ribas easily if she remains aggressive. She needs also to let the kicks go. For me, this would be easy as if I were her coach. Pressure, more pressure, stay off the cage, stay off the mat, bring it to Amanda Ribas, show her some pain, and she will crumble. And I think that's what the key to victory here for Angela Hill is. There is a path to victory. She's the dog here. So I did place her in an earlier parlay. I was going to pass on this. I have in a parlay with Divison Figueiredo. She should come in here and fight like Divison Figueiredo, because if she does, she'll win despite being the dog on this card. On the Monkey Knife Fight, I see this as a pretty easy call. I'm looking at Angela more for Angela Hill at 47.5 strikes. If she wins or even loses, she's up in the 80s area. And Amanda Ribas, getting her as a more. I don't think Angela Hill's going to finish her. As you see, I put it by a decision. So here's another fantastic. Finally, we get to see Donald Cerrone again. Is this going to be his final fight? I hope so, especially if he wins. They didn't throw Cowboy can here. A journeyman, yes. A bum, no. Moreno is to be respected, or he will take Cerrone out as easy as he is an active, very smart striker. They share a common opponent in Nico Price, and Moreno was actually out-punching Price in their bout, and we all saw what Price did to Cerrone. So if Moreno can stay on the feet with Cerrone, this is going to be an interesting matchup, and it's not going to be a give me. But the hell with all this MMA analytics. Cowboy is going to be Cowboy. So he's going to either starch Moreno or get starched and pieced up, or he's going to piece Moreno up. Moreno is nowhere near the pedigree and fighter that Cerrone is here. I think he has enough to eke this out. I said the same thing about Cub Swanson last week, and I was wrong. It cost me dearly. I don't think I'm going to go large here with Donald Cerrone. I might enter him as my parlay piece here because I think that a finish by him brings him out, and he's able to finish on his shield, finish out in glory, and put those gloves in the octagon. Says something positive, possibly about Diego. Leaves his hat in the octagon and puts us all to tears. And now for our main event, Mariana Rodriguez versus Michelle the Karate Hottie Watterson. I originally confused Mariana Rodriguez for Amanda Ribas. As I have mentioned, all these women have faced off before. Again, this is another match where people see the value on the veteran Michelle Watterson. I see it as well. She is far more seasoned than the UFC octagon, has faced tough newcomers before. This is an all-or-nothing fight for Watterson, just like Hill, whose relegation to gatekeepers may be a quick tenure. Both these women can easily see their way out of the UFC. Rodriguez is a young, fast up-and-comer, as you see, with fast, good hands. While the numbers only show a slight edge for Mariana Rodriguez, it doesn't translate how much more power and speed she has over Watterson. So what's Watterson's path to victory? Take it to the ground? It might be. They both have a decent takedown average. It depends on what Watterson's going to do with the takedowns. If she's actually going to try to do a Khabib-style grapple strike to hurt and possibly submit and just control and do tons of damage to Mariana, I think that would suit her well as just staying on the feet and doing the same thing that Hill should do in her bout. Aggression, meet aggression with aggression. They both are better technically over time as well-rounded strikers. So I don't think it needs to go to the floor. Either of these guys, I think that Watterson's counter striking and defense could help her here, but it might be just too much. Mariana Rodriguez, possibly in round 4, her takedown defense might be enough, although she was taken down a ton in a few of her fights. Monkey Knife Fights has capped this at 3.7 and 3.6 rounds accordingly. I'm thinking this is going right around there to 4. 5, of course, favors Watterson. Again, Watterson has all the tools to win this out. A good live dog. I don't know if I'm going to be betting this, depending on how the line is at the time, because Mariana Rodriguez is a really fierce competitor. So on this, I'm looking at this being a more and more as it not going a finish, because Michelle Watterson is an extremely tough competitor, a great MMA fighter, and I don't think this is the end of either her or Hill. I think there's more fight left in both of these women, but it is a crucial event for both of them. So thank you once again. Please like and subscribe. This is all very difficult. I'd appreciate any comments, any activity whatsoever. Again, appreciate everything this weekend. Have a good time. Bet within your limits. Stay away from most of these bouts, including any parlays, most of the prop bets. Conservative. Yes, some dogs are there to play, and I've mentioned some, but I'm staying away of most of these myself. I look to just keep the money I had last week or from weeks past. But you guys, thanks again so much. Have a great weekend. Good luck. Like and subscribe.